The grand finals here at the Western Qualifiers. Currently, the situation is Mousesports have made it to match point, winning 2 games in a row. They are 2-0 up on DD Dota. One of the favourites coming out of the group stage and playoff stages, but Mousesports looks so good here today, Bruno.
Yes, and Mouseport, the story of the tournament, the team of the revenges. They lose against EG, they stomp EG. They lost against DD Dota, well, they're stomping them right now. Let's see if they can get it 3-0.
Yep, they are indeed. So actually, if you ever heard any static noises that we've been pushing out to you, it's because there's lots of cables being moved around to try and get a camera shot working. If you haven't heard earlier, we went to Pyrian Flax in a pub stomp live in London, and UK Dota are probably just screaming as we say that. But we actually have our own private pub stomp,
yes,
and we're going to go check it out. Hopefully this works. This might be Semler in the private Good Studio pub stomp.
Camera shot. We should show just how many people are actually in this room right now.
It's private.
Yeah, that's a sweating
Mousesports, sha-la-la-la-la. Mousesports, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Mousesports, sha-la-la-la-la. Hey!
Yeah, so in case you're wondering who this madman is next to me, it's actually the boss of DreamHack, Robert Olien. Olien?
No.
Mjuk Åhlén.
Vad sa du?
Mjuk Åhlén.
Yeah.
It's a joke in Swedish. Kinda.
Bra. How are you doing?
I'm pissed off.
Because you're missing the hockey match.
Yes. It's the SS game.
It is. Not that SS. The other SS.
Sweden versus Switzerland.
Who's gonna win?
SS.
So, do we care about the Dota game that's going on right now?
Mousesports, sha-la-la-la-la. Mousesports, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
Yeah, apparently I'm just Semler. Thanks, Trance. All right, how are you enjoying the pub stomp right now, mate?
We're going from the top.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm good.
No?
Yeah.
DreamHack, Dota, Summer, yes?
Allons-y.
Bon, ben c'est bien. Est-ce qu'on termine ça?
Et je ne sais pas.
Bon, ben on va terminer ça. À tout à l'heure tout le monde, ciao!
I don't. He had one job, Semler. He had one job. Semler, we're going to let you redeem yourself, okay, yes. Semler? Semler, if you're listening down there, Semler, we're going to let you. They're going to turn the sound up. He's going to realize we're going to let Semler redeem himself with an interview with Hellspawn. We want Hellspawn, yes, for the international. We want Hellspawn.
Hellspawn!
And
we summon you.
We demand a Hellspawn. And also, let's see how Semler can fuck this one up. Over to Semler for another interview.
Thank you, Trance! And the rest of the Good Studio production. It wouldn't be Good Studio unless we fucked up at least one thing in a broadcast. So I'm sure all of you out there are accustomed to our antics and know what to expect from us when we decide to run a stream. But now I guess we're going to do a bit more of a serious interview. Bah humbug. How's it going, Hellspawn? How you doing? Yeah, okay. Alright, so what the fuck do you do at a DreamHack?
I don't know. I'm here.
So you do things?
Yes, a lot of things.
Yeah, you're always complaining about all the things you have to do.
Yeah, I'm a whiny guy.
Ask about the
game.
You're
a busy guy.
Please ask about the game.
How you been enjoying this? How have you been enjoying these games?
To be honest, I didn't have time to watch all of the games coming into this, but I love Mousesports dominating and Cinderella giving payback to his old teammates. It's cool to see. And also, I mean, a lot of Dota coming up also for DreamHack, so it's just good times.
Good times all around, you'd say? Despite the fact that DD are getting just stomped right now?
I mean, Go Black is one of the players I like the most, so it's just sad to see that he's not performing so far. I think he's been kind of outdrafted, but also that play-wise hasn't worked out for him. But it would be cool coming back 3-2, so that would be nice.
It would be nice. I mean, seeing as how the game's about to be over in like 3 hours, so not too much on the stream.
More Dota, better Dota.
Motor Dota, better. Yeah.
I mean, it's the Ice Hockey World Championship here in Sweden now, so a lot of people going up to see the Switzerland's versus Sweden, and hopefully another Swedish gold.
I know, that's really what's all hype about it. I mean, that's what's hype right now. Who's going to win? Because who cares about Dota? It's all about the hockey.
In A, I say Mouse Sports. In B, I say, of course, Sweden.
Okay. All right, well, Hellspawn, thank you so much for the interview, sir. As always, it's a pleasure doing this sort of shit. And, guys, we're going to get back to the Dota so we can stop this painful fucking interview. Take care. We'll see you all next time.
Actually, no, it's really nice to see what Hellspawn has to say on the games, and he's impressed. As you mentioned, one of the big storylines that Hellspawn brings up is very true. Synderen used to play with some of the members of DD Dota on MTW in the last international tournament, and now he's back with Mouse Sports.
Yes.
And a little bit of history for you. The MTW team, there was some words and says that we're not that happy with Synderen.
Yeah.
So Synderen, if he takes this 3-0, he's got a big smile on his face. But we see that's going to be the case. Let's check over with Andy. Andy, how are you doing?
We're ready to go. Both teams have actually been ready for quite some time, so we're actually going to get the game started. It's going to be loading here, hopefully, on the first try. But for me, this is, obviously it's a last stand for DD. If they don't win this game, then they're going to be still going to Seattle, but now you have to worry about, are we going to have to play against the winner of the Eastern Qualifier, which is going to be scary no matter who it is. Of course, LGD China and VG being the favored. But you really want to get first here. So DD, they're looking to come back. They're going to have to win 3 in a row to do it. It's going to be really hard to call.
Yeah, well, we'll see if that's the case. So here we go then into what could be the final match of the International West Qualifiers. If Mouse Sports win this, they are victorious. I'm probably going to stay in the studio and just watch it all because I think Semler might want to beat me up if I go upstairs. So, Andy Wepers, protect me and take it away.
Mouse Sports versus DD Wepos. It's the last shot. This is the last chance that DD can prove that they are the ones who are supposed to get that secured spot right to TI3. Of course, being able to play on the group stages rather than having to go up against the East Qualifier winner, which, as we've been saying, kind of a consistent theme throughout the entire tournament so far. You don't want to finish second if you can help it.
No, you really don't want to do that. And DD, they have a lot of pressure on them now. They gotta win 3 games in a row to be able to get that first place. And just even if you were 1 game behind, winning 3 games in a row after that would have been so hard. And now they're 2 games behind. But the draft is on the way, and of course we see a Lifestealer being the first pickup. No big surprise there out of Mouse Sports, and we'll have to see what DD wants to do. Most likely we'll see a Bane, but what do they want to try and follow it up with?
10 seconds.
I gotta really question giving Mouse Sports Lifestealer again. They're like one of the best teams in playing Lifestealer, and they've gotten him, I think, both games, if I'm not mistaken. So this is now a situation where they could follow it up with the Lone Druid and the Rubik, like we saw earlier, get that really tanky kind of a lineup going against DD, who first off, they picked their Razor in game number 1. That was a surprise pick, and we all know that it didn't really work out, at least in terms of the team fight potential coming out for DD, but it's a new game, it's a new chance, as Bane is going to be the first pick from DD. They're looking at 1 more, and it's a really tough call, because you kind of have to pick Bane when you see the Lifestealer, but after that, do you want to try to go for maybe your mid? Do you want to try to go for at least some hero who gets a farm, or maybe wait until later and try a PL again?
Yeah, the problem with getting the Bane early on as well is that you still leave Rubik in the pool, because you don't want to pick those 2 together, because then you got 2 defensive supports. We're going to see a 3-end coming out straight away. So that's going to be the support combo for DD, of course, that Goblack always plays that 3-end protector. And Mouse, they got so many good heroes in the pool still. They got a Nyx Assassin, they got Rubik, they got Lone Druid if they want to go for that. And it's just Puck still in the pool as well. They've been really favoring Puck, so everything is pretty much open for them.
The Mouse Sports, they are going to go with the Lone Druid, but instead of picking up the Rubik this game, they're going to go with a Keeper of the Light instead. So a hero that has fantastic split push potential. He can allow your Lifestealer to play aggressive if you really want him to, often, just by virtue of being able to Chakra. And you can add another support on top of that, and it's very easy to coordinate, which is the nicest thing about the lane in general. But DD, incredibly defensive picks. You can't really say anything else. Tree and Bane, those are 2 pretty decent lane controllers. Bane a bit more so than Tree. And of course, the Living Armor is going to be nice depending on what 1 versus 1 matchups we're going to be seeing. The one thing, though, about these picks
5 seconds
is that they've basically got low damage output again, which I feel like could turn around to hurt them. But they're going to get a Weaver, so that does alleviate things a little bit, and it could potentially be their offlaner, could also be part of the tri-lane.
Yeah, being part of a defensive tri-lane would be bad, especially since Mousesports, with the Lone Druid pick, we might see them go aggressive once again with the Lifestealer. But with the Lone Druid as well, we saw it in the first game, they actually had Koikoa playing on that long lane, and he was doing quite fine up against that Razor. He fell behind a bit in the last hit department, of course, but Mouse, with the early aggression they had, they helped them come back into the game, and then this pushing power with the Armlet Bear was just so massive.
And Mao's looking to have that same kind of pushing potential again here in game number 3. As we are rolling into the second ban phase, as Mousesports is going to take out Luna as the first choice, and I love that personally, just because you see the Weaver, Mousesports have got to be thinking this is probably a defensive tri-lane, put the Treant with the Bane, the Luna, because Luna is great in defensive positions just because of how fast you can push, even if you don't get anything like a Chen. But DD, they're going to ban out Puck, and rightfully so. We've seen that Fata's Puck performance throughout the entire qualifiers has been more or less perfect. He's made very, very few mistakes, and whenever I watch him play that hero. So taking away initiation potential that Mousesports are definitely lacking right now, and now they're kind of running short on mids who can really have that mid-game impact.
Yeah, DD might want to try and look the way towards a peel once again. I mean, they got the Bane and the Tree, and we've seen that combo. They ran it against Roxkiss, and with that, of course, Silent can start off with a Quelling Blade, since he got the Living Armor, which means that he can tank the waves if they're actually pulling, like Gob really loves to do. But Leshrac is going to be taken out, as well as Darkseer. And Mousesports can still be looking towards something like a Rubik to go in aggressive tri-lane. They won't have the massive amounts of damage coming out, but we've pointed out from time and time again that Lifestealer's lane presence is just so great. And if you have a Lift and then a Blast, you can still pick off kills.
We'll see what that third hero is going to be soon, as there's one more ban coming out from each side. And DD, you can't really say enough about how well they've performed up until now. I mean, they came in, honestly, in this best of 3 to some people being the favorite, like they were going to take it because Mouse, they had shown really strong performances in some matchups, but other matchups, DD, they kind of rolled them over last time they met, at least in this qualifier. So DD, still looking for something to prove here in this best of 5 series, whereas Mouse, they're sitting pretty on a 2-0, looking to make it a 3-0.
Yeah, they really want to take this game, of course. I mean, getting the first place is going to be so good for the team going out of this. Like we mentioned, the Eastern qualifiers looking scary. And especially with the top 3 favorites there, you got Rattlesnake, VG, as well as LGD Shana. You don't want to go up against any of those teams in a wildcard game. I mean, it's going to be great to be able to be a TI, but those teams to play against for your chance to play in the group stages in TI is not what you want to do. But TA being the last ban out of Mousesports, as well as a Nyx Assassin on the side of DD.
Now the Nyx ban for me is a little bit strange. It's nice against heroes like Weaver and Bane because you can get the jump, potentially just kill the heroes before they can really do anything. But at the same time, I'm not sure if they would have run it mid because I don't really think, well, of course, after seeing the Rubik, it wouldn't have been played as a support. But it looks like they just don't want to have to deal with it. Rubik going to be the choice, though, of Mousesports. Can steal the Overgrowth, can steal the Fiend Script very easily. And I feel like this is a little bit strange from DD because they pick the Bane, they don't ban out the Rubik. They're going to go with the Razor again, by the way. So this is the second time they're going to be attempting a similar style versus the Lone Druid. So looking to see that Lone Druid Razor 1 versus 1 again. And in the last game that they did it, it worked. I mean, more or less, Razor got his farm, Lone Druid got his farm, but no hero was really pressuring each other that hard. So if they can actually make it work this time, if he can have a presence during the mid-game, I feel like it could work out a lot differently for DD.
This time around, they might just go for a defensive tri-lane as well, just because last time when they went with aggressive one, they lost so much that the Lifestealer on that safe lane got so much farm that they couldn't fight properly, even though the Racer had a great start. He didn't have enough impact in the mid-game. So if they go for a defensive lane instead and help the Racer to get even stronger, force the Lone Druid out so he doesn't have any impact, and then Weaver, he can stay in the lane, especially against the Rubik and the Keeper of the Light, then they should have a really strong mid-game. But we're going to see a Juggernaut being the last pickup for Mousesports and DD countering with the Queen of Pain.
I love the Queen of Pain pickup here from Funzy because it doesn't matter if you have Healing Ward, it doesn't matter if you have Spin, because you're going to be able to Shadow Strike a lot more than you're going to be able to spin in lane, especially before you get your bottle. So there's a good chance this Queen of Pain is going to have a fantastic time mid. He's also going to have Goblak to use armor on him if he ever does take a significant chunk of damage and has to regenerate a little bit. So This is, again, DD. This is their last opportunity. Can they manage to put themselves on the board, or are Mouse going to just completely roll them in a 3-0 sweep? We'll go over the players on the side of DD really fast once again for you guys. As Goblak, he's going to be playing on that Train Protector. The Queen of Pain going to be handled by Funzy. Razor being played by Sakshka here for the second time in this best of 5. Bane being played by Bucking Mad. He plays that hero a lot, by the way. Like, almost every game, I want to say. And Silent, finally, for DD, going to be playing the Weaver. But Koikfa, he's going to be able to spot out Bucking Mad. Are they going to be able to go on this? This is actually a 5-man coming up from Mouse. It could be the first blood on the board straight away. They're doing some body blocking. Here comes the telekinesis. And DD, they give away the first blood. It's going to Fada. That is a huge deal because not only was he in an unfavorable matchup, but now he gets to start with a bottle.
And he's been pulled regen. Which means that even though he's got that bottle, he's got even more regen to just be able to tank up that Shadow Strike damage. And this is such a good start for Mousesports, especially since they're running an aggressive tri-lane. Getting a tiny bit more XP, even though it was shared between 5 heroes, it's still really nice for them. But it looks like they might just want to try and rotate the lanes out straight away, or they're just going to go for a rune fight.
This is really, really tense, honestly, for DD, giving away that kill especially. Silent goes for the illusion rune, but he's not going to be able to get it. In terms of tri-lane versus tri-lane, I have to favor DD here, just because they have a Weaver, they have a Bane. Silent shouldn't have any trouble farming at all, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to go on these heroes. And then we have a Nightmare, of course, and the Bane. You have Enfeeble, you're going to have Tree and Armor. The damage output of Mao's tri-lane don't have a way to really eat through the living armor, so all their auto attacks are going to get reduced pretty heavily.
Yeah, they're going to have to rely on the Illuminate damage to come out, and if you're fast enough on the Bane, you can dodge it with the Nightmare as well. But I really like the laning decisions out of DD with this defensive tri-lane with the Weaver, just because they knew that Mouse was going to run aggressive, or they pretty much read Mouse from running aggressive, so they're going to run the Razor against the Lone Druid once again, which means that Razor is going to be able to free farm, is going to be able to drain that bear, which means that he won't take any harassment whatsoever, and Black is forced to farm with his hero only.
And Sakshka's impact in this game is going to be key, because as good as he did last time in this matchup, he didn't really do anything after that. I mean, his laning phase went reasonably well, and then he was like, well, this is kind of out of control. I didn't TP bottom when maybe they needed the entire team. Without me being there, the team fight was lost, and that's really where Mouse started to spiral out of control in that game. We can see some War of the Wards going on over here as DD are going to be getting the better of it. They managed to kill the sentry. And of course the Observer Ward on the high ground there that we just saw moments ago. And Koikfa, he's sitting at 3 CS right now compared to the 5 of Silent. And you have to imagine that Silent's going to be doing pretty well here. There's not really much they can do in terms of burst until those heroes get a handful of levels. If you want level 3 on Pos, you want level 3, especially on Cinderin, to make sure that your Illuminate can actually just kill the Weaver.
Yeah, the good thing with having the Weaver in this lane is that Weaver is really nice to have against a Lifestealer. We pointed out the Lifestealer's lane presence is really good, but against a Weaver who has the Gemini attack as well as the Shikuchi spam, it's hard to actually stay in that lane even if you have Feast, just because you're going to take so much harassment in between, which is really nice for DD. And since they managed to clear out that pull spot, they're going to start pulling as well, and Mouse can't really contest this pull.
Yeah, if they do, it's going to be very dangerous for them, as Silent is playing man mode here. Shikuchi's through the entire tri-lane of Mouse. Luckily, he does have that living armor to fall back on. And we'll see how this tri-lane kind of unfolds, I suppose, as time goes on. But Koikfa, he's still getting a decent chunk of farm. Silent's actually going to be forced all the way around and have to run back, so that's a bit of a bummer. But in terms of pull contention, if Mouse want to do it, they need all 3, basically, and they need to make sure that Cinderin is in a good position to land the Illuminate. But we're going to look at mid here, and the Healing Ward's actually going to get killed from Fata, so that's a bit of a bummer. He really wanted to go for the dive there. He walked forward, he thought about blinking, he decided not to. I think he might have been able to get the kill, actually.
He just needed a few extra auto attacks to be able to kill off Fata, but the bottle comes out, which means that he's going to be able to grow it once again, and he's going to be back in this lane in no time. And the good thing for Mouse, though, with this aggressive tri-lane is that they have the opportunity to pull the side lane if it's needed. But DD can just come in with a Weaver and kind of take it away, though.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And you can't really tell necessarily who's getting a huge edge. If anything, I would say DD are starting to get a bit of lane advantage just because they're able to abuse the pulls, and Mouse haven't been contesting them. We're going to see another pull here on the side of DD. And Telekinesis on a Silent. They want to try to go in, but Bucking Mad is there. The rest of Mouse going to be forced to back off. And Silent does have to be careful because as time goes on, what he just did is going to become more and more dangerous to do.
Yeah, the sentries, both sentries has actually been placed by DD for now, but Silent's gonna get the living armor, which means that they should not be able to kill him, even though they got the sentry out of here.
Oh, they got a full creep wave too.
Oh, they might
Telekinesis
actually
is gonna be there. Here comes Bucky Mad. He gets the brain sap off, and Paz is gonna be the one to go down. Silent might end up knowing, but no, it's gonna be Cinder and Koikfa. He get the kill. The living armor is gonna be able to keep him alive. Koikfa desperately trying to find the kill. He's just doing absolutely no damage, and Koikfa's gonna go down. It's a complete tri-lane wipe coming out for DD, and Goblak, he picks up the double.
that living armor, man, just keeping him alive, and then of course Bucking Mad, since he's been able to pull side lane, he's level 3, so that was a level 2 brain sap, I believe, and it does so much damage, and it's just the start that DD really wanted to. Weaver's gonna kick off, and Razor is gonna be able to have even more room in these mid-game teamfights once they come around.
And Black still continues to farm pretty well. He's actually getting bested right now by Sakshka playing on that Razor, and you can just see minus 168 damage. That is a ridiculous amount of last hit potential and harass coming out for him in this early game, and he really does not like putting points in a plasma field. He's got the extra move speed, of course, from his passive to ensure that he can stay in range, just to make sure that his Link actually gets the full charges, but if you really want to try to get a kill, I don't know if putting 2 points into that is really necessary. I think 1 point is still maybe as effective as you need it to be, although I guess that's assuming a lone Druid doesn't pick up a point into his Rabbit.
I'm guessing that... Oh, top lane?
They're going in once again. Nightmare on a Cinder, and here comes the Brain Sap. Quickly want to try to turn it around. They're going to try to go on Bucking Mad, but Cinder, he goes down straight away, and Mouse, they are getting completely destroyed in this tri-lane right now. That one fight, losing all 3 heroes, giving so much experience to the lane of DD. This lane, I would almost say, has to be sacked at this point.
Yeah, they really gotta start rotating the supports. Maybe just leave the Lifestealer up here to have someone to just put pressure on Silent to have a bit of a more harder time to last it. But even the Lifestealer can just go into the jungle, and then the supports go down and help Black in the bottom lane, keep the lane pulled, make sure that he can get last hits, because Black can of course last hit under the tower, as Soxia just runs in and links of course Black and just gets some extra damage up. So Mousepores should really try and sack this lane and see if they can get something out of a really good rotation, but other than that they really gotta rely on Fada in this situation.
And Fada, unfortunately, not going to be able to get his puck that he is notoriously good at playing. He does have a Juggernaut, though, which in Game 1 we also had an equal opportunity to see how effective he could be on that hero. But he's starting to carry TPs, so you know that Fata, he's going to be ready for the tri-lane fights. Maybe that's why they haven't abandoned it completely just yet. The Lifestealer is getting actually better farm in terms of overall CS than the Weaver, but of course the kills going to put DD in a pretty comfortable position here in their defensive tri-lane. So it's 7 minutes in. DD with a 3-kill lead. And we're now basically seeing Mouse tested for the first time, I think, in this entire series.
Yeah, DD getting ahead in the last hits, of course, on the 2 solo lanes, which is really good. Not too expected, though, when you actually look at the heroes that are going up against. Like we mentioned, Soxka can just drain the bear, which means that Black is forced to last hit with only his hero, and a lone Druid isn't known to be the tankiest when he's outside of his ultimate form, which means that he can just harass him out of the lane. So Soxka getting a lot of farm, Black forced into the jungle to farm a bit more, but he's still getting the farm that he's needed to.
Black is going to be pretty integral as well. We talked about Fata's performance, but Black, having a jungle like this, it's not really an ideal situation. You can see Paz, he's starting to rotate over. He's level 3 at about 8 minutes in. And to give you an idea, 2 minutes from now is when Cinderin hits 6 in that second game. So you can see the difference right now. Link going to be used by Sakshka. Black immediately resummons the bear, but he just can't get out of range. The phase boots, the 2 points into the passive of Razor allow him to stay in range for so long that he got 140 damage right there. But middle, Funzy dies 1 versus 1 to Fata. Looks like he found the Omni he was looking for and that spin.
He got some really nice harassment out with the spin before, and then I'm guessing Funzy just played it kind of recklessly or didn't really think that Fata had the mana for the Omnislash, but picking up a kill in mid is really nice for Fata because he needs to have a big impact in this game.
The Mouse, they've dismantled their tri-lane for the time being. It's only Koikfa and Cinderin up here in the top lane. And Koikfa sitting at level 5, and his performance on this Lifestealer, it needs to be pretty much as good as it was in game number 2, but Cinderin could be in some trouble. Silent going to eat an open wounds. The Swarm is still there. Silent just going to dive right under the tower. There's no way Cinderin can do anything about this, but Silent he's now stuck. He's actually just trading with Koikfa, and he pops the time-lapse as well, just for good measure. And it's a killing spree for Silent. He continues to farm away 32 CS, and now 3 kills.
Synderen should really leave this lane as well. I mean, Koikwa can handle himself, and of course, if he gets pressured, he can just go into the jungle. And Synderen should start farming the jungle with his Keeper of the Light. He could even help out Koikwa in the jungle if they start farming together, just to be able to get even higher levels on him. But if he keeps on going up to this lane, he's most likely going to die even more.
A Bucking Mad now rotating over, and he's level 6. So this is a level 6 Bane at 9 minutes. And this is very, very dangerous for Mouse. If they catch Black with the Fiend's Grip, I'm not sure if they can do anything at all to save him. He's not even in his true form right now, so he only has 800 HP. It looks like he's got that Sixth Sense as he just decides to pop it there. And it doubles his effective HP, which is really nice. And it might allow him enough time for the rest of his team to react, as we're starting to see DD, they rotate away. They're not looking to dive that hard just yet.
And I see Queen of Pain being there. I don't believe they actually saw the Bane, so this could still be very dangerous. If Black thinks he's safe, goes out of true form, the Bane can still come in with the Fiend's Grip and still get quite an easy kill. Since Paz isn't level 6 yet, he won't be able to steal that and counter use it. So this is a very dangerous situation for Black to farm in, especially since Soxia can just start linking the bear whenever he wants to, and Black won't be able to farm with it.
DD sitting a 3-kill advantage here at 10 minutes in. Mouse, they're trying to find their footing here in game number 3, and Koikva's still managing to find some farm, but the Fiend's Grip onto Koikva underneath the tower. Free kill for DD. Very nice movement coming out of Bucking Mad. Maybe assume that the Bane was still in the bottom lane, or at least roaming the jungle, but he's going to be spotted. And middle lane as well, Funzy with that DD, applying some decent harassment here to Fata, who is maxing his healing ward, by the way. I'm pretty sure this is the build he's done pretty much the entire day so far.
Crit doesn't really... I mean, crit is really nice to have, but in the early stages of the game, if you just have face boots, it's not going to do too much. Of course, a lucky crit can always help you out. As we see, Fada's tipping up the top, and he really wants to get this Omni Slash. Open Wounds goes out, and one jump onto the range creep. Nightmare comes out as well, but Bucking Mad is gonna for sure go down here. And that's a really nice pickoff kill. Soxia trying to get a static link. Weaver finishes off the tower as well. And now Queen of Pain is coming into.
Yeah, the blast is going to be there from Keeper of the Light. Koikva, he goes for the Infest damage. Silent quite low at the moment, doesn't have his ultimate. And everyone else from Mao is going to just retreat to the tier 2s. So you can definitely say that DD are getting pretty good trades. That was the first time where I feel like Mao's made a move and DD didn't just have an immediate reaction for it. And for the most part, DD has just been finding the openings themselves. And bottom lane, though, Black, he's been left alone for a little while. He's still sitting at 48 CS. And in the top 5 farmers, in terms of last hits, everyone's pretty darn close. So it's not like anyone's getting a huge advantage. But Funzy, going to be forced to teleport bottom, telekinesis, and Ruin, and if Funzy can they get him down, this would be huge! And Funzy, he drops under the guys in the tier 1 tower. Talk about root luck, and they needed that kill.
Yeah, they really needed it, especially getting in on Black. He picked up his helmet. Oh no, he actually picked up the Blades of Attack and Gloves of Haste, but he's still getting closer to that Armlet. And Armlet is going to be so massive for them to have in these fights. They need the Armlet Bear to just stay in front, have the healing ward to make sure that he can't get killed off. And then the Juggernaut needs to get a good Omni Slash. Fada, he's still getting really nice experience. He's up to level 10. He's picked up the drums with face boots and wand as well.
Top lane.
He's almost level 11.
Koikva, he's getting dove. He pops the rage. He's not going to have a creep wave for another 3 seconds if he wants to try to infest Silent. He's going deep. Koikva maybe running away from the creep wave that he needed to infest into. And he's going to get dove inside of the base as Silent pops the time lapse. I got to be honest, I don't know why he walked away from his creep wave there. I'm pretty sure he could have lived.
That was a bit weird, but Silent going so deep for that kill as well. And the reaction out of Mouse just wasn't there. I mean, they probably wouldn't be able to do much unless it was a Rubik that rotated. But anyways, no one really TPing to try and help Koikwa out.
Another kill for Silent. It's now 4-7. A lot of solo kills this game, actually. You can see the static link being used on the bear here bottom. Sakshia's got his drums finished. He's got the double ring of regeneration, so I guess he might have been looking to go for a hood, but that would be a very weird build considering the magic damage is basically Illuminate, Spin, and Fade Bolt. It's not really that scary. Maybe he just wants it for pushing potential, but we'll have to see. And Rubik is now level 6, so the supports on the side of Mouse starting to get some levels at the very least. Spell Steal here, it's going to be Shikuchi, so Rubik going to be pretty pleased with that. Allows him to get in range, do a little bit of extra damage, and because his mana pool is really nice, he's going to be able to find some nice initiations as well. Ward being dropped here by Bucking Mad, and I don't believe that Mouse actually spotted this. So they might be trying to play aggressive here at the tier 1.
Silent is playing really aggressive. He really loves to play aggressive on these carry heroes if he can do so. He's not farming that much, but he's still 5 and 0 on that Weaver, which means that his farm is quite good. He's picked up the Perseverance together with Power Treads, working his way towards the Lincolns, but pointing out that on Racer with a 2 Ring of Regen, he's could be going for a pipe. It wouldn't be a bad pickup just to have
top lane.
the pushing.
Qualifier going to be forced to TP away. Silent, just applying pressure everywhere. Even if he doesn't get the kill, just forcing Quakefoot to TP elsewhere, that's a pretty big deal. We're going to see a smoke here mid, but they're going to walk right into a sentry, which is pretty unfortunate, actually. So Fata and Pos not really going to be able to make much happen. Shukuchi coming out for Pos. They might be able to get the telekinesis. Here comes Fata with that double damage Omni. The Brain Sap is there to equalize some damage, and Fata, he's trying to stay in range, but he simply can't do it. Here comes the Fiend's Grip. They want to try for the turnaround. Silent, he's now here. He might go for Pos. Pos, Shukuchi's away. Can Fata actually live? He's going to try to TP, but the Nightmare is going to be there, and this looks like to be a free kill for DD. Here comes the Link. The Scream of Pain comes out, and brilliant reaction from DD. They now take a 4-kill lead here at just 15 minutes in.
And with this, since they've already rotated in 4 heroes into mid lane, they can just pressure the tier 1 tower, and Mouse doesn't really have anything except for the Keeper of the Light, but even the Keeper, he's only level 6. I mean, he's been able to get level 6, but he's a level 2 Illuminate, which means that he's not going to just insta-kill the creep wave, so they could stay here for a while if they want to, or they can just leave the Racer or the Queen of Pain to just keep on farming.
DD looking to make a stand here in game 3. Not going to lay a goose egg, at least, and maybe make it a 4th game at the very least. But remember, this is game number 3. And Mouse, they still have a way to come back, but it's going to be a long road ahead of them if they want to do so. Black going to be one of the shining hopes, as he's very close to his armlet right now. I actually think he's going to have it when the courier gets back to base, but not really a whole lot of farm coming out on Mouse. Even Fata's only got 59 CS. The Queen of Pain's pulling ahead. The Razor is sitting at top right now at 83 and 35, which is pretty ridiculous in a 1 versus 1 matchup, and the Static Link definitely helps with that. Now Mouse trying to push in middle lane, as DD is going to be trying to push the tier 1 bottom.
Yeah, it looks like Fortification is going to go out in mid, and Mouse backing out a bit. They still got the healing ward so they can push with the bear, but it's looking like DD will get the tier 1 trade before, and then they can of course TP in the Racer as well as the Weaver and defend the tier 1 in mid, so DD getting the better trade when it comes to the towers.
We can see Fonzie's got an invisibility rune here. He's going to spot out the bear. Maybe try to go in. He's going to decide against it, actually. He's only level 9, so he doesn't really have his level 2 ulti. That's kind of what you want, especially when you're trying to burst somebody down and initiate. But Mouse, they're looking to hold on to their last remaining tier 1 middle lane. You can see 3 people, Pos, Cinder, and Fata all kind of grouped up. And Fonzie's going to spot out Black, but going for Black is so hard. He's got 1,700 health, but looks like they might try to anyway. There's actually going to be coming as well. Here comes the ultimate, and Silent, he's just mad-moding it right now. He's continuing to chase. Black, just so unbelievably tanky. Fata going to go for the Omni onto Funzi, but he's managing to blink away. Telekinesis onto Silent. He might have to use his ultimate right here, and he will do so. Back to full health. Fiend's Grip onto Koikfa. It looks like DD is going to be able to take this fight quite easily. The Overgrowth even comes out just to make sure the Lifestealer goes down. And DD, they're here in mass. They have all 5. And Mouse, they don't really have an answer. The Omni's already on cooldown. Unfortunately, it wasn't level 2. Maybe if it was, they would have been able to pick off Funzi. But DD, game number 3, seemingly all about them.
Oh wow, Paz actually stealing Living Armor, so he's starting to put it on his tier 1 tower in mid, and then of course the Keeper of the Light Illuminate coming out, so they might not be able to get this tower, but they really want to try it. And Fata going in with a spin.
He's going to get linked. Sakshka going to be able to walk away, pops the drums just to be a little bit faster, manages to dodge the Illuminate. And Silent, he's got a living armor of his own. He wants to try to go back in. Tower actually goes down in favor of DD, and Goblak, he gets the tower last hit. So he's going to be working his way towards that mech. He's already got the headdress. Now he has enough for the buckler. And it looks like Silent is also closing in on his Lincolns.
He needs about 500 more gold to be able to finish off that Lincolns, and that's going to be big for them because they don't really have anything to lock him down with except for a lift, and if they use the Omni Slash, then that's going to pop his Lincoln, and he can of course Shukuchi away from the Omni Slash if the Lincoln is popped before, so that's going to be such a great pickup for them, and it looks like DD won't be able to push this tier 1 tower down. They got the Armored Bear, but it's not doing enough damage since they kill off the healing ward really quickly, and now they can just start spamming out that living armor onto the tower, and it won't really go down.
We can see Funzi's got 2,400 gold saved up. They want to go on to Sakshka, though. Here comes the Static Link, and they burst him down fast enough. He's actually going to get Nightmare, taking almost no damage from the full focus coming out of Mao's. Brilliant coordination coming out from DD. They want to try to extend this fight a little bit longer. Pos, he's going to try to run away. Qualifier eating another Fiend's Grip. It's going to be another kill. Gobblack with the tree punch. Manages to get another last hit. Pos still on full retreat. But DD, they will not be denied. They're not going to lose seemingly 3-0 in this best of 5. They're going to be going, hopefully, to a game 4 if you're them. Because honestly, I just don't know what Mouse can do at this point.
I mean, the only counter push they have is a Keeper of the Light, who's level 7. He's got level 3 into Illuminate. And Racer needs about, I believe, 800 more gold, and then he's finished off a pipe.
Yeah.
And they got almost they even got a mechanism up on the tree end. So they got nothing to be able to stop that. When they pop the pipe and a mechanism, the creeps are just not going to go down, and the only thing they have after that is a spin, but you don't want to go in with the Juggernaut against the Fiend.
Silent. He's looking for Cinder, and the Swarm is there, and he's just going to drop. There's just way too much damage coming out of him right now. Pos, he manages to get his own Shikuchi off. He's going to be able to teleport back into base. In the meantime, Fata going to be spotted out here as well, just as he TPs out. And Black, he's trying to split push. He's doing some pressure to the tier 1 right now. Going to see a TP in. It's going to be Silent. He wants to try to force Black back. And the tier 1 tower, it's going to go to Black. Silent doesn't get the deny, so at least Mauser getting something out of these exchanges.
Yeah, so really nice to get the tier 1 tower, but they did lose to tier 1 in mid, or tier 2 in mid a bit earlier on, of course. And the farm is just going the way of DD as well. Black has, of course, caught up a bit, but that's only a Lone Druid going up against the Queen of Pain Racer as well as a Weaver.
Yeah, the late game for DD, you kind of have to be scared if you're Mouse, because no one in your team is really getting that much farm, and Koikfa bottom lane, he's being chased down by Sakshka. Look at how fast he is! Koikfa desperately running to the opponent creep wave just to make sure that he can fest inside of something, and he picked a really good creep, because this one's actually not taking any damage, but they're really trying to get him, and the creep wave is so huge that it's actually, yeah, he's going to have to pop out. He's like, oh, crap. He's going to pop the rage, tries to run away. He's going to do some damage to Funzy, but I don't think Quake is going to be able to do much. He gets the open wounds off. He lives for a pretty long time, but Funzy, he seals the deal with a scream, but he did buy quite a bit of time for Mouse to get the tier 1 middle, so finding a lifestealer is great. Silent, pushing the top lane in the meantime. Fata going to be able to spot him. Actually, just going to be forced out. As another TP comes in, it looks like the tier 2 is going to be safe for Mouse.
Fata can't just kill the Weaver straight up. One, the Weaver's got Invis, and he's got the Lincolns, which means he can't use his Omnislash on him, except if he's got Pos there, which Pos actually TP'd in, but Silent, wisely enough, just backing away from that, but still putting a lot of pressure on this tier 2 tower up in top lane, and Pos has managed to get himself Shikuchi, which is really nice for him. But it's looking like DD is moving the way towards Roche.
DD could very easily take Roche, and I was thinking earlier about when I mentioned that Sakshka was going for the pipe. I thought it was a bit strange, but if you think about it, they have so many ways of stopping physical damage just by their team composition that the pipe makes perfect sense, because then the only thing you have to worry about is magic, and you have a spin, of course, and an illuminate. So, in all honesty, the item progression of Sakshka is pretty much perfect, and they already have the mech on top of that, so I'm just not sure if Mouse have the damage output at this early stage in the game, considering how bad the lanes went, to actually take these fights.
The good thing for Mouse, though, is that they have a Keeper of the Light, which means that they can split push with the Lone Druid. They can just recall him into the base if they need him to, but DD still has a very strong push, and like you mentioned with the pipe, just pop it on the creep wave and you have a mechanism. Illuminate won't do anything.
The Koikfa trying to find some farm here. He's only level 9, and he doesn't even have his armlet finished, which is really unfortunate. It's 4-12 right now in favor of DD in game number 3, and Cinderin barely escaping death right there. Manages to get the TP back to base just in time. And DD are still looking to play this aggressively. Fata, he's got the invis, he's got level 2 Omni. They're going to spot Gobblack, and they're going to spot Funzy. Can they manage to make something happen? They obviously don't know if Fata's here. He wants to go for Gobblack, and he might be able to get him, but no, not enough damage. And Fata actually Omni's up to the high ground, and Funzy blinks away. Talk about bad luck. And Gobblack, he gets the living armor off. He manages to live through the engagement with the use of that mech. Mouse just can't find anything here in game 3.
It's so hard for him to be able to bring them down, especially with a tree and protector who's generally quite tanky. He's got the living armor, of course, and the mechanism. And that was an Omnislash together with a Lone Druid, and they didn't manage to kill off a support. I mean, what will they actually have to be able to bring down a Racer and a Weaver on top of that?
Well, that is the question. Can they actually bring them down fast enough? Funzy, he's got himself an Orchid right now. You look at the net worth. Top 5, got 3 on the side of DD. Juggernaut leading the pack a little bit. And Cinder, and he's going to need a Shadow Strike here. Funzy, he's going to pop the ultimate. He wants to go in really hard, go for the kill. The Scream is going to land, and he manages to get it. He didn't pop the Orchid. He's actually going to get Telekinesis back into the base. He might go down. Blink 1 second cooldown. Very nice play coming out right there from Paz. And Fata, he's going to teleport away mid in the meantime as Black secures the tier 2 mid. Mouse, they're actually finding some pretty decent exchanges here in this game. It's
really nice trades for them, especially since DD won't manage to kill off this tier 2 tower down in bottom. Of course, Paz being able to steal that living armor, stopping the push, since they don't really have that strong of a pusher like a Lone Druid with an armlet. They can just regen this tower up, and if he can keep on stealing this living armor, it's going to be really big for them.
We'll see how much more Mao's have in this game, if they can really bring it back at the deficit they are right now. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a long road ahead of them if they want to try to make it happen. And a lot of that starts with Quakefa, of course, Fata, and the Lone Druid, the triple core of Mao's that they love to use, actually, nowadays. They do it quite often. At the very least, they always have two. But Black, he's been pretty unobstructed for the last, I would say, 10 minutes or so. He's got his Basher, he's got the Armlet, he's got another 1,000 gold, and he's level 13. So it's not like he's just completely falling off. He's still split pushing in every single spot that he can, because he realizes that DD, they have to commit a pretty good chunk to actually killing him, probably 3 heroes.
And most likely, even though Silence picked up his Demon Head, so he's got some nice damage, just that Lone Druid is so tanky, and if Black keeps on farming like this, he's going to get an AC quite soon, which means that his split pushing is going to be even stronger. And like I mentioned, if Paz keeps on stealing the living armor, he's going to push faster than DD can do.
The bottom lane, in the meantime, we can see that tier 2 bottom has got healed up a pretty significant chunk, looking to be almost full health once again. And being able to defend the towers like this as long as you can is Mao's goal. Because DD, they have a pretty good late game team. The Weaver and the Razor are pretty good. Not necessarily super hard carries, but Lone Druid, a Juggernaut, and a Lifestealer, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for DD if they don't really establish huge dominance. And they've had map control for quite a while, which is great. But ideally, you want to try to go for a Rax.
Yeah, but I have to ask you, am I completely wrong if I say that Eye of the Storm starts hitting buildings once he finishes off the Agonism?
It does.
Yeah, so going for that, even if he steals the living armor, the living armor is gonna burst off really fast, and then they got even stronger pushing power. So this Agonist pickup could be what they need, just to be able to kill off the base even faster.
Yeah, all he needs really is to be tanky, and just getting something that gives you tankiness and an additional effect on top of that is going to be fantastic. So DD, they get the bottom tier 2, even though it was healed up by the stolen tree and armor, it just doesn't really seem to be enough at the moment. And poor Cinderin, man, he has just not had a good go of things. He's 0-5 right now, and he's only level 8. This is looking a little rough for the supports of Mao's, and Paz has had a couple of really nice individual plays, but seemingly no map control right now on the side of Mao's, and like we're seeing, the Aegis is going to be fading pretty soon. And then the next Roshan, I think, is when DD is really going to start applying the pressure.
Cinderin's found some farm, though. He's finished off a mechanism, which is going to be really good for his team, just to be able to have that in those fights. Since DD is more of bringing them down slowly with the static link, and of course you have the overgrowth to lock people down, it's going to be nice for them to have that mechanism together with the healing ward. And they're getting the farm they kind of need. They just need to keep on turtling this out, keep having Black split push, and making sure that he finishes off an AC, so their pushing power, if they manage to wipe DD, is going to be just that much stronger.
The question is, though, can they wipe DD? I don't know, man. I think they still need a couple more items up before they can even hope of doing that. And speaking of items, Silent, he's getting very, very close to his MKB if that's going to be the next choice that he decides to make. See some TP reaction here in the top lane, and Fata is going to eat the Orchid right here. Can actually do enough damage. Fata is incredibly fast right now. He's not going for the Aghanim. Silent trying to do his aggressive chase style once again, and Quakefa pops the armlet, but he realizes, yeah, I don't really do enough damage to take this fight. I'm going to go ahead and back up. So the two more important heroes on the side of Mao's already forced back within seconds of being in the lane.
The good thing, though, is that they can't really push this tower, DD that is, so Mao's, even if they were forced back, they still got the time to farm up once they've regen up. So Koikwa as well as Fada, they're actually going to smoke up together and see if they can find a pick-off kill down in bottom lane.
If they could, that would be huge, especially if they can pick off Sakshka before he gets up his Aghanims, because the less tanky he is, the easier it's going to be for Mao's to actually take these fights. And even before, when he had 1,000 health, They tried to focus him with 3 heroes, and they did almost no damage. But Bash onto Sakshka, first hit. Can he get an entangle? The Bear's chasing him down. The living armor's going to be there. Here comes the static link and the open wounds and the Omni. Sakshka cannot live through that kind of damage. The mech actually, I think, came out a tiny bit late right there. And there was a pipe popped as well, but a very, very nice pick-off, killing one of the higher priority heroes on DD.
That is great for them. Just killing off the pipe carrier means that they won't be able to push Silent. Of course, it's going to be able to put some pressure up in top, but they still got Cinder in here with the Illuminate, which means that he's going to be able to nuke down those waves really fast, and then the push is pretty much just stopped.
Yeah, we can see the spin being used here too. It's Silent. He's setting himself an item. Oh, he gets bashed under the tower. Can they get a root? They really need it right now. The Chikuchi is going to be up again, and he's going to get blinded along with that living armor. If they could have gotten an entangle right there, they might have been able to get a kill, but he did have his time-lapse up.
His time-lapse probably would have brought him down under the tower, though, which means that he still has the chance to be bashed as well as rooted, but he's going to go for Sinran.
Cinderin pops the mech. He's trying to live. Is he going to be able to? It doesn't look like it, but Silent. He might be in some trouble himself. He managed to get the time-lapse off. Here comes Black. He need a root or a bash, but he doesn't get either. Silent. His Shiguchi's going to wear off. He's going to juke to the side. It is so hard to catch away from this position, but not if you get a root. It's Root Gaming, and Silent goes down. That was a wicked 6 streak, by the way, being given to Black, so 594 extra gold for him.
He's up to 3.6k gold on his bear now, so he might just stay up either for a straight AC or go for something else. Something like a Radiance to shoot through that living armor wouldn't be a bad choice, but I feel that the AC would be a lot better, because if they win team fights, they really need to be able to put a lot of pressure on DD's towers.
We'll find out what the choice is going to be soon, and Mouse, they're making strides to stay in this game, and I'm really impressed, because DD are not a team who are very easy to take away an advantage from. DD know exactly their playstyle, they know what their compositions are supposed to accomplish, and they always pressure so hard as soon as they know they have an advantage. Heck, even when they're losing, they try to go for fights non-stop. So props to Mouse for managing to hang in as well as they have, and right now, I feel like Mouse could still come back.
Yeah, Mouse is getting a lot of farm on the heroes that they need to get farm on. Koikwa, as well as Fada, is catching up a tiny bit in the last hits. There's still about 50 last hits behind the lowest one, or the closest one to them, and almost 100 behind the Weaver, but it still comes down to that Mouse has a 3-core, whereas DD pretty much has, you could say a 3-core, but the Razor is tanking up more than he's getting damage. I mean, it's going to be good for them, but if the heroes get too strong on the side of Mouse, they're still going to be able to bring him down, since he's going for first off the pipe and then the Aghanims. He's not getting anything like a heart, which is going to help him survive even longer against physical.
Yeah, the carry potential of a Razor is kind of his biggest weak point, because you always build him as a tank. That's kind of the way that the hero plays. So the mid game is where DD are going to feel the strongest, and it's starting to get a little bit past that phase right now. I mean, it's 31 minutes in. We're waiting for the next Roshan. It's going to be up very, very quick, at least in the next 30 seconds or so. We'll see if DD can actually take it. And that would be huge for them, because it could give them the edge they need to actually go for the racks. And alternatively, you have Mouse, who, if they take one good fight, I feel like they could very easily just bring themselves back completely for the reasons that you were mentioning before. So this is a really stressful situation for DD. This is where you don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, you really got to play passively, and like you mentioned, you got to get that second Aegis, and then see if you can get a Rax, because they need to get that extra advantage going. They still haven't got the tier 2 tower on top, which could be very good for them to get as well, but the Rax is what they really, really need at this point, just because the farm that Black is getting, if he finishes off an AC and like you said, they get a good fight, they're going to at least go for the base in mid, because they can push fast enough for that.
The DD going for Roshan right now, no vision on the side of Mouse, so they're not going to have an idea of what's going on just yet. I'm sure they have some semblance of a clue, but it's very difficult to do anything about this, as no one is really in position to punish it. So DD, they're going to get the Roshan for free, and this is the opportunity that they were looking for. This is the point where they can just take a fight. They got the Orchid, of course, and the Hex up on Funzy, and he's the one given the Aegis, so he can definitely be the initiator during these next team fights.
Yep, and it looks like they're just going to try and pressure down 2 lanes, making sure that they can't split push too much.
Oh, Cinderin. Cinderin, he's going to try to TP away. Here comes the Plasma Field. It does spot him, and the MKB is not going to be there because Silence Auto Attack doesn't land. So living life on the edge right there. But Cinderin is going to live to fight another day. And interestingly enough, Fata, he's decided to go for the Manta style, which is a little bit interesting for me. It does give him a good chunk of survivability, but I feel like he needs a little bit of damage at this point.
Mostly damage would be really good for him, but I'm guessing the Manta style helping out with the split push isn't bad to have, and especially just adding more of course, an MKB of some sort would be, or something like that, would be really nice for the split push as well, but the Manta style is always a nice choice. But they're forcing DD back, whereas DD really wanted to get the kills going. Koikwa, Armnet toggling down in mid. Fancy might go down, or he might lose the Aegis. He's going to be able to blink out in the end, but that was a very close
Black. Black is not in his happy place right now. Here comes the Omni. They want to try to turn it. There's actually a Rune on the bucking mat as well. Can they do enough damage to actually take him down? There's no Fiend Script just yet. It will go off on Afata. They're holding him in place, but they just don't have that much damage. And Black, he actually TPs away. The Brain Sap is actually not going to be quite in range for Fata. Is he going to be able to drop the Healing Ward and live here? It doesn't look like it is Sakshika. He picks up the kill with that Plasma Field. And there are 3 down right now on the side of Mouse, and DD are looking poised to possibly put their first win here in the Best of 5 series.
This could have been the opening that DD needed. Keeper of the Light being down, as well as 2 of the core heroes on the side of Mouse. They can't counter push this, and since every lane is pushing in, Black can't just take a tower, since especially bottom is pushing in, and they're gonna blink in on pass.
He gets hacked. Silent goes in for the kill, and it's going to be no problem whatsoever. Static Link on the Bear, forcing Black to pull it out. And the tier 3 looks like it's going to be dropping for DD. They're going to be going for the racks. And Mao's looking to be in a very dire situation here in game number 3. We were talking about they're a momentum-based team, and when they have it, they play incredibly well. And to hold them off as well as they have in this game, I got to give Mao's credit. But DD, they are probably taking this to a next game at least.
Yeah, right now they're leading in the kills and tower trades that they need. They managed to get a Rax and a Blink Dagger coming up on Gallblack, so they're going to have some great initiation when they want to go for the next base push. Just being able to jump in, overgrowth the Keeper of the Light, and just kill him off straight away is going to be so good for them to stop the Illuminate spam coming out.
Silent, he's got 3,800 gold right now, so he's looking pretty happy in terms of overall farm. So he's got the highest last hits right now, sitting at 233. At 35 minutes, and he's also been involved in almost every single one of his team's kills. I mean, he's pretty much played as well as you could have asked anyone, and he's even found solo kills inside of the base. When he found Koikfa on the Lifestealer, that's when you start to think, okay, DD looking pretty good here in Game 3.
Yeah, he's up to 4.1k gold, so we'll have to see what item he wants to go for. Going for something like a Butterfly at this point wouldn't be too bad, just being able to tank up a bit more, or not really tank up, but his survivability is going to be quite ridiculous against that, and Link is going to be popped, and Shikuchi is going to be stolen by Paz, which is a nice spell for them to steal, but they still... How will they be able to defend the base now when DD comes in? They got some nice split push going with Black down in bottom. Will he be able to take enough?
Oh, Fonzie goes in! He bursts Cinder and down straight away. Not going to be the Keeper of the Light to defend this base. And I think this is just going to be the second set of racks. I think that pickoff, honestly, might have just allowed DD to take game number 3. And they extend their lives here in terms of contention for the #1 spot in the TI3 Western Qualifier. It looks like they really don't want to play against the Eastern Qualifier teams.
No, they for sure want to try and win this game. Of course, Weaver finishing off with full Manta Cell now, so even more escape for him. And they're going to TP back, force Black out of the way. And he didn't manage to get 2 towers, but they lost 2 racks now. And that leaves only 1 lane open. And a Lone Druid, even though he can push fast, is not going to be fast enough once DD starts coming with a full team going for the bottom racks.
DD just looking fantastic here. And you know what I love about this game is that DD have picked very similar lineups before, and they didn't work. That's the thing. They said, okay, it didn't work, and this is why. We know how to fix the issue. We'll pick it again, and we'll make it work. And that's pretty much what they've done in this game, because we saw the potential for the Razor when they picked it before against Mouse. It just didn't work out because maybe the movement on DD wasn't good enough, and let's be honest, Mouse were just like on a whole new level that game in terms of how well they performed. Fata, he's going to TP away. Silent, unfortunately, not getting that elusive MKB proc that he was looking for to maybe try to force an Omni at the very least out of Fata. But 12 kill lead for DD. It's 37 minutes in. Black, he wants to try to do some damage to this tower. He's just going to force a cancel TP actually out of Gallblack. He doesn't want to be alone versus that bear, and I don't blame him. But Mouse, they're trying to buy as much time as they can. I'm just not sure if they can actually buy enough time in general.
I mean, DD's just so far ahead, especially having 2 racks up, or 2 racks down on the side of Mouse, is just helping them out so much because it limits the farm for the side of Mouse. They can just... DD can farm the whole jungle, and the creeps that Mouse has to farm are the Rex creeps, which means they're going to get less gold. But Silent, getting bashed and rooted in mid, he's going to use his time-lapse, and he's going to be fine with that. And now they can just go for this base push, and if they kill Syndrome once again, like they did for the top push, then that's going to be game for sure.
I don't think Cinderen's going to make the same mistake of standing near the outside of the base. You can see how far back he is this time. But Sakshka, he is not afraid of anything. They actually go in straight away. Funzy with a very aggressive blink. He's actually got an ethereal blade on top of everything else. Link going off onto the bear. Sakshka going to eat the open wounds, but the Omni's going in, just not really doing that much damage. Sakshka actually taking a pretty huge chunk of it. Godlike blinks in. He gets the root. Cinderen going to be the first one on the side of Mouse to fall. He immediately buys back in a huge ulti from Funzy, followed by the Fiend's Grip on Afata. Can they burst him fast enough? The wand is going to be there. Funzy, he lives through the engagement so far. It's another buyback on Mouse. This time it's going to be Fata. Silent, rooted, Bash under the tower. He's got the Manta. He uses a time lapse. Gets Bash immediately afterwards. And DD, they're not able to take the last Rex. The Hex on Fata right now from Funzy, and they're on full retreat. Mouse, they buy back 2 heroes, but they still defend the base.
They managed to defend the base, but DD are still looking so strong that they might just try and go for another trade in here. Tower down to off HP, and with the MKB on the Weaver, that means that they should be able to take this tower down quite fast.
Silent, gonna get the Illuminate, gonna be forced out. That is a very scary bear, by the way. That has got some sick bash and entangle luck, I have to say. And without that, I think Mal's might have already just lost their bottom tier 3. DD continuing to pressure as much as they can. Telekinesis gonna be there. Funzy does not have a blink because he's entangled, and he's gonna actually get picked off. Mouse, they find another kill. Silent's actually just chilling in their base right now. But, I mean, I gotta give it to Mouse. They're finding kills in like the weirdest situations.
Yeah, Silent just farming the huts up in the base, see if he can get some extra gold going his way. We'll see. Oh, first hit
root onto Silent. He's gonna pop the Shakushi. Can they actually get the kill here? Silent, a little bit too fast. He's still got the Manta if he needs to use it. No bash, no root just yet. There's the bash and the root. The linkage is actually going to get popped as well. Here comes the telekinesis. Where's Fata? They need the Omni. He's going to be able to time-lapse the entangles there, but he's going to be able to get away. I think if Fata was there, they would have had enough burst to take him out.
Fata was there from the start, but it looked like he wanted to back off, whereas Black really wanted to keep on going. So a bit of a misplay coming out of Fata, and Koikwa might be in some trouble here. Wow, the damage coming out of Silent. He's going to be able to bring down the Lifestealer. And that opens up the base for them. Silent in a really weird spot here, but will they be able to actually kill him off?
He's going to Shikuchi away. Sentry was dropped, and man, Pos almost got like 2-shot right there. He's still taking some damage from the Swarm. He's like, please help me, guys. As a healing ward is dropped by Fata, and Pos was going to teleport back to base. But DD, they're in position right now. They're pushing in to the tier 3 in the bottom lane. This is the last set of standing ranks here for Mouse in game number 3. And DD will not be denied. Oh my god, the damage output from this Weaver. He gets 1 Geminate off, and Cinderen is pretty much forced to pop the mech. Fata gonna spin to try to kill this creep wave. Fade Bolt being used, but the tier 3 goes down. Static Link onto the bear. Can see a telekinesis on a Sakshka. Here comes the Omni. It's hitting Silent quite a bit, but Fata, he's gonna pop the Manta. Here comes the root coming in from Godlike, and it's pretty much everyone on the side of Mouse. No one going down just yet. Here comes the Fiend's Grip from Bucking Mad onto Fata, and Fata's gonna go down. Stolen Overgrowth coming out from Pos. The Ethereal Blade onto Black, and a huge burst damage coming out onto him, and Pos, he falls as well. He just auto attacks, and Mouse, they call the GG. DD, they're taking it to a game 4.
Really great play from DD, and they went with a draft that they used in the first game, but this time they just got the better trade in the tri-lane, which meant that Racer could have even bigger impact in this game, as well as Weaver just farming so much better than all the other heroes on the side of Mouse.
Congratulations to DD for not getting 3-0'd. At least that would have been a little bit anticlimactic, I think, for most of the viewership. You want to see these teams just bring everything they got, take it to that game 5, have that climactic conclusion that we're all looking for, but DD, they're looking pretty good here in Game 3. They're going to be able to take down the Ancient, but for everybody watching at Dota TV, we're actually going to be doing the post-game commentary in the studio, so if you guys want to listen to that, you'll have to tune into the stream. But, of course, thank everybody for watching up until this point, of course, and that's it, DD. Game 4 coming your way soon.
Yeah, just DD playing so well this game. I'm really impressed with them pulling through the same strat that they used in the first game, but making it work this time around instead is just really nice to see, and that just goes to show that they've actually practiced it a lot. I mean, they know they can win with it if they get the right start, and they really showed it in this game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that just they had that kind of composure to pick the same lineup twice and the second time make it work. But we're back here in the studio. Bruno, James, DD, they're making a comeback, or the start of one.
James, I want to teach you something. Maybe you will learn someday. I still try.
Okay.
What do these two guys have in common in terms of carrying potential? What do they do that it's very similar to each other?
In terms of carrying potential?
Yeah, how do they carry? How do they fight?
They're very annoying to kill, and the fight goes very long.
Exactly. Very good, James. It surprised me to get it at the first time. I maybe underestimated you. But no, really. These two guys, very hard to kill, as you say. Very extend the team fight. This guy is hitting you, and Shukuchi hitting you. This guy drains all your attack power, just slowly mows you down. These two guys, separately, very interesting. Together, makes for every team fight really drawn out. The problem is keeping these guys alive. Now, naturally, this guy has a built-in survival system in Shukuchi and also the time-lapse. This guy doesn't have that much. But if we put these two together and we add our friend here, the Treant just by being there with that living armor, it extends your life during a fight. Especially when you have carries like the Lone Druid, like the Life Stealer, and even the Juggernaut, that when he's not popping his abilities, they're pretty much right-clicking you. Right-clicking you is slow, and you have to go through 7 of those charges. So, Living Armor, making the most out of those two heroes. And when you need some burst, who do you call? Not Ghostbusters, you call Queen of Pain. And that's what they had to go for them. That's why they slowly but surely won the games.
I can't even add anything to that.
Nope.
It's
James?
too perfect.
Well, there was one way that they were going to lose, right? In my opinion. The Weaver tri-lane, we've seen it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The fact is, for this reason, you can't kill it. It was even better when there was an Undying in the Weaver tri-lane, because if they try and dive you, they get killed themselves. But, like, having the Treant Protector does help you in the long term in the overall team. So I like the pick. And I like the Weaver tri-lane. But Razor, played by... Oh, God. Sokshka.
Yes.
Sure, you want to have a hero that survives, but it could have been very dangerous if the team were both level pegging in terms of farm across the high-impact heroes on mouse, which I was mainly looking at the Lifestealer, was the only person that was really behind. Fata did a great job mid, got a couple kills, Black found his farm, right? But if Fata was... Fata... No, was it Fata? No, Fata's playing Juggernaut. Qualifier, playing the Lifestealer.
Yeah.
If he was a little bit fatter in terms of farm, the Lifestealer, the Razor build going for Hood into Aghanims could have been shut down in a big way, like in a really big way, because if you're able to connect with a Lone Druid Bear, a Lifestealer that has pretty decent farm, which should have had, and also an Omni Slash, you lose that Razor, you don't have much left to your team. Like really, that Razor had to stay alive. So the importance of the items he went for were good, but for me it was risky. It was really risky.
It is risky, and that's why it didn't work for them in the first game, because the Razor couldn't live through the team fights, and that's pretty much exactly where they fell apart. So I totally agree, but at the same time, DD laned it in a way that Razor almost had to succeed, because the tri-lane's not going to rotate from top all the way to bottom. So in that sense, I feel like DD kind of knew exactly how the lanes were going to be working out, so they kind of had an advantage from the get-go for me, because even on paper, if the tri-lane of the Lifestealer, the Rubik, the Keeper of the Light doesn't even die, then the Weaver's still going to outfarm the Lifestealer. That's just how it's going to be.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was pretty much right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we are going straight into the second game.
Yeah, we're fine to
Okay,
go
cool.
straight in if you're ready to go in.
DD is actually missing one person right now, but as soon as they get in, we'll be willing to start the game pretty much spot on.
we might check in upstairs as well and a little bit later with Semler to see how progressively drunk people have got. I'm expecting to find Robert face down on the floor. Maybe we'll do that after the next game, no matter what the result. So we'll go check in with a bit. And of course, hopefully everybody who's watching in a pub stomp, or even, you know, if I was going to say, like, watching by yourself behind the internet, which is normally how I watch Dota. Hope you're enjoying it.
He goes into his room, he closes the door, and he starts watching or playing Dota right after the cast.
That's what I tell you.
You're not alone, person in your room. We are with us. We are with you. We are with us as well. We're with you. Just sitting next to you, telling you what
That's
to
a
do.
poster. We're with us.
We're with us.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. But I'm impressed that DD managed to bring this back. And, you know, like, first game, similar draft to this, didn't work. Second game, safer draft with a little twist on it in terms of the Chen and the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
Didn't work. go back to where they started, and it's kicked off.
As a trend.
Yeah. Now we have to kind of figure out, do DD have the answer to mouse sports? Because when you're playing a best of 5, once you figure your opponent out, sometimes it just rolls. And we saw mouse sports come in, and they were just solid. This game definitely went the other way. DD played pretty fantastic. So it's really tough to call who's going to win, even though mouse sports are still on match point, because I feel that DD could do something brilliant and bring it back to a 2-2.
So what you're asking if, do DD do that again?
Did I say that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did I say it with a D, or did I say that and pronounce it properly?
Well, I'm Argentinian. I get away with that.
You do get away with that.
I do get away with that. Anyways.
Da.
Da-do-dee-da-dee.
Goblak is AFK for the time being. Not going to be long, though. He said he'll just be right back 1 second. And he is obviously the drafter, so he kind of has to be here to start the game. So we're going to have a slight delay. It's not going to be a long one this
it's
time.
not a problem.
It's fine.
Not a problem.
I'm just keeping everybody informed, okay? Like,
You're good, man.
it's fine.
Good. How's Scriff doing over there?
This is fine. Scriff, how are you doing? He's rocking out. He's over there. He's observing. He's missing very little kills. I have to praise him today because he's done a pretty good job. I mean, I think he missed like 1 or something like that, but other than that, his spectating has been up here. I'm proud of him.
How are you doing, Wepaz?
I'm good. I'm really enjoying the game so far. It's been quite nice, and especially even though the third game was a bit more methodical, I felt like the first 2 games were really fun because after those 2 games, I just felt like we're gonna have more kills in this series than we had throughout like the whole tournament.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
both teams just playing all out, just fucking going for kills, going for crazy dives. It's just so much fun to see.
Slugfest.
Do you feel that DD could bring back 2 games in a row? And if so, why?
Yeah, I feel like they can do it. Just showing it in this last game where they played it really calm, composed, got the farm they needed, and then they just went for a base push. So I think they can actually do it, yeah.
Okay.
I think DD have it in him to bring it back, but it's like, it's still scary, you know? You're on that 1 game edge. You're on the game where if you lose, you're still going to Seattle, of course, which is going to be fantastic, but it's like getting a secured spot, not getting a secured spot. Pretty big difference.
Yeah, it's huge. And still, though, match point for Mouse Sports. DD is still playing for their tournament life here in terms of being directly qualified into the group stage. I believe that upstairs we can maybe check in on how the pub stomp's going, and then we'll go straight to the game. But here's the pub stomp. Let's see if they're still alive.
Similar didn't even notice.
That's the Spires.
Mouse
Just
Sports!
Spires.
Mouse Sports! Mouse Sports! Mouse Sports!
That's actually the guy with the
I don't really
smiley.
do anything. They're
Yeah.
taking care of it all for me. Yeah.
All right, well, we can go straight to the game.
Games. We're into game what?
Yeah,
4
we're-
now. We're going to be going into game 4 of Mouse Sports and DD. Everybody here is hype, especially all the DD fans, him in particular. Yeah.
Mouse Sports! Sha-la-la-la-la!
Okay, cut it off, Trance, cut it off. Cut it off, Trance. Yeah, no. Actually, the guy with the T-shirt with the smiley face, some people might recognize him,
Yeah,
but,
some
you know, of
people will
course,
recognize him.
we'll leave it at that. All right, then, so we're getting ready to go into game number 4. It's match point to Mouse Sports still. DD need to win 2. Can they do it? We'll find out as Andy and Wepez, I believe, we're going into the draft.
Yeah.